Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to July 15th. I can't even believe we are in July. How does that happen? Okay, let me get my screens right. Should have done this before I jumped on, but I did not. So here we go. All right, so let us set our intention for this week. Hold on. I'm almost there. How have you been? If you were in my 5-day self reflective challenge. I thank you so much for participating in that. Um, your participation is like phenomenal. I mean, really, truly, just the willingness to do the work. And what we do is what in my Facebook community, we have a community, like an actual community where folks can share their experiences. And we work really hard at creating a supportive, safe space for one another. And one of the things that's really, really important to me is inclusivity. And so I want to make sure that people are honored for who they are and, bring bring all of their experiences, their perspectives, their understandings, and we support one another through our healing journey and the journey to aligning with our intuition, which is sort of the link to the truth of who we are. Okay. I have my love being cards with me, and I'm going to go ahead and shuffle my cards. So I want you to just kind of think of a number, 1, 2, or 3. Choose one of those numbers. Probably would have been a better way to say that. Choose 1 or choose 2 or choose 3. Or maybe you might get 2 numbers and that works. Or maybe all 3. Okay. So my love being cards, if you don't know about them, I develop these cards based on what I see when I connect to spirit. And so, spirit is not in form, it's in essence. And how we make sense of it is based on who we are, our perceptions, our understandings of the world, our experiences. And we're actually moving not only through our energy and our frequency, we're making sense of it through our brains, basically, through the bodies that we have. And so what I see is uniquely different than what others see. I'm a Latina, and I tend to see spirit in ways that are similar to me and my experiences of life. And so they are very different than what you might be accustomed to. There are not very many images that I think really that are inclusive or that capture people other than, I would say, capture images other than the dominant culture, outside of the dominant culture. All right, here we go. Card number 1. And what I do, in case you're new to me, is I listen for the word stop. That's the way that I choose cards. I'll see folks where a card will pop out. I've tried it. I've tried it many times. So I'm like, I'm going to get this. It doesn't work for me. So what I do is I fan them out. And because I'm clairaudient as one of my primary clairs, I hear the word stop. Okay. Card 1. Card 2. And card 3. All right, here we go. Card 1 is take risks. And the affirmation that goes with that is I courageously embrace the unknown. If you got card number 1, I heard this very loud and clear. You need to take the leap. You need to take the leap. Hi, Lori. I'm actually doing a 3-card pull. That's what I'm doing. We're setting intentions for the week. And so you can choose card 1, 2, or 3. My personal readings are in my Facebook group. My Facebook group is I Am Loved. the Love Being Facebook community. So if you search that, you'll see it pop up, and you can request to join the group. There'll be a couple little questions, particularly around rules, ensuring that you'll follow the rules. And yeah, join our group. And I do those now once a month at the beginning of the month. So the first Wednesday of every month, I do those. Okay. All right. So if you got card number one, hold on, let me get tapped back in. Yeah, it's time for you to take a leap. It feels like there are things that you know don't align with what brings you joy, what brings you peace, what brings you happiness in terms of our external world. Now, there's a whole, I do a whole thing around those three things about it being our true nature. These things that we seek are our true nature. But I will say that there are also circumstances within our environment and the decisions that we make that impact how we feel about things, how we show up in the world, how we engage with others. They do influence, and sometimes it's more difficult in difficult situations. And so when you are able to kind of, set those boundaries and make some decisions that align with what's better for you, you can actually move through the process of healing, because it's like, now you're going down the down escalator or up the up escalator, instead of trying to run the opposite direction, just this continual state of struggle. You don't have to be in this continual state of struggle, but you have to take the risk. And if you're not willing to take the risk, you're going to kind of stay where you've always been. And it really feels like you just have to make the decision and trust that it's all going to work out the way that it needs to work out. So open your heart and really tap into this, this trust is a really big one. Trust is a really, really big one for a lot of people, because we may have had situations or circumstances that actually verify and validate our reasons to not trust. And so when I say to somebody, it's, you have to trust the universe. You have to trust kind of the doors that'll be open, the doors that'll close, the experiences that show up for you, the experiences that are not showing up for you. Learning to trust the universe actually allows for you to move into the flow, this flow state, which is our natural being. But too often we stay stuck in positions, we stay stuck in relationships, and we stay stuck in the cycles, the patterns that we create in our lives, and it doesn't bring us joy or happiness. And so if you chose number one, it's time for you to take the leap. It's time for you to do whatever that you intuitively already know you need to do. So take risks. I'm going to say the affirmation once again is, I courageously embrace the unknown. The next card, number 2, is celebrate. Okay. The affirmation for that is, I acknowledge the progress I've made. I had a conversation with a friend recently about this, and she was saying, I don't want to compare myself to where I've been. She's done significant amount of work in the last year and a half, like tremendous amount of work, like walking through the fire, repeatedly walking through the fire. And she's like, I don't want to really compare myself to, because she was like, this is an ego thing, comparing myself to how far I've come. And I said, no, an ego thing is when you're comparing yourself to others, when you're going, oh, look at me, look at how much better I am, look at how much more I know than her, than my family, than my sister, than my husband. We compare ourselves to others because what we're trying to do is make ourselves feel better, right? By pointing out all of the things that other people don't know. Their perceptions might be different than yours. Their experience of life might be different than yours. And because of your values and beliefs, you're like, oh yeah, I know better than they do. Poor them. It reminds me of like, bless your heart. Like I hadn't heard of that until I went to the South. And I was like, some woman said to me, we were talking and she was like, oh, sweetie, bless your heart. And I'm like, okay, why does it feel so icky? Like she's smiling and the words seem really nice, but seriously, it felt like she was putting me down. And yeah, that undercurrent, right? That undercurrent that happens with those words, that's kind of what I'm talking about. So we want to make sure that we're not trying to compare ourselves to others, but to look back and go, look at what I've done. Look at how far I've come. Look at the amazingness now that I can sit in this space. And yes, I still have difficult times. And yes, it is incredibly, challenging And I still am, life is sort of like this journey, this ebb and flow. And we learn how to navigate that the better we build out our capacity to understand ourselves and to be able to manage our emotional state. That's a whole process. But it's okay for us to look back and go, I did that shit. I did that shit. And look how amazing that is. Okay. So if you chose number two, please take a moment to celebrate how far you've come, to celebrate the challenging experiences that you managed to move yourself through, to celebrate any of the, the world experiences that you have had. Maybe you've had a promotion. Maybe you're moving into a home that you have wanted for a very long time. It could be those experiences, and it could also be your own personal sacred journey, your experiences to bring you to a state of understanding yourself better, the truth of who you are better. Okay. Number three is, if you chose number three, the card is Get Honest. I am willing to be honest with myself. This is a really, really big one because we often hide behind our beliefs. We hide behind, and what I mean by that is that we'll say that we believe something, and this is actually a bias. We say that we believe something with our whole heart, and we really intentionally in our minds believe whatever the thing is. But the truth of it is, our actions don't align with those beliefs. And so we show up in the world as, what people expect of us, the way that we've always lived. So we show up this way, but in truth, we're not being completely honest what is true for us. There are so many levels and variances of how this can show up in our world. But if you chose number three, really drop into this space of being open to really uncovering the things that maybe you have dismissed. And I'm hearing right away relationships. So sometimes we really need to get honest about relationships. Is this relationship really supporting you? Are the relationships in your life one that I'm going to say, I'm seeing two things. So it might be two different people. The first one might be a partner. So maybe you need to relook at your partner and the relationship that you have with a partner and really wonder, is this really a relationship that now serves my needs and that I'm able to do the same for the other person? Is this a healthy experience? Is this a toxic experience? So you have to get really, really honest. We often will stay in situations like marriages because we're supposed to, because we don't know what's going to happen financially, because we have children, because of all we've been together for eons. And so what's my life going to look like? Who am I without this other person, right? And so get honest about that. And then I saw something else very quickly flash. It could be work relationships as well. Work relationships, not just work, relationships outside of a partnership, that sometimes we have to get honest about what we're bringing to the experience and the way that we're perceiving things. Sometimes things are none of our business, but we tend to make it our business. And we want to give everybody our opinion about what we think they should do because clearly how to work the experience of life, or you've had a similar experience, and so you want to share and you want to encourage someone to choose this versus that. And so whoever is watching this, and if this resonates with you, I want you to just take a moment and to honestly look at your need to interfere and get honest about that. Like, where is that coming from? Why do you feel that other people need to do what you think and what you say? Like, where is that coming from? And to actually step back. Now, I'm feeling like this is a person that's watching this, to step back and just allow people to have their own experiences of life. Okay. Your ideas, your perceptions, and your beliefs are not always warranted. And some people just need to move through their own journey. And it's important for us to allow that to happen. Okay. Now, it's a weird take on the Be Honest card. So this is the message that I just shared is very specific to an individual who may be watching this at watch the recording. And so I want you, if this is you, to just kind of listen to this and just allow for it to kind of drop into your physical experience, your body, and then kind of see what comes up for you, what comes up for you. Okay, it's a really important thing. But if you chose number 3, get honest with yourself. Okay. All right. So I am thankful for your willingness to take this ride with me. I super appreciate every single one of you. And if you are interested in joining our Facebook group where we actively support and engage one another through the healing process, through developing our awareness of our true nature and to align with that true nature. And that true nature is really understanding that we are love. We are love. We are love, and the state of happiness and peace and love is within us, not outside of ourselves. And we oftentimes, not oftentimes, most of us, have been taught from a very young age that these are the ways to happiness. These are the ways for you to accomplish the goals. And when you accomplish these goals, you will find happiness. You will find peace. You will find, when you find a relationship, this find a relationship and you will experience love like you've never had before is all bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's part of our social conditioning. And so we grow up believing that love and happiness and peace are all outside of ourselves, and it's really our natural state. It's our natural state. So what our journey is to release, integrate, become aware of all of those things for us to really recognize that truth. So it's a healing process for most of us. So thank you all. I appreciate you so very much. Once again, I have a Facebook group. I am loved. I was going to explain it. It's I am loved with a parenthesis around the D. So it's I am parenthesis loved with the parentheses around the D. And the reason is because our true state is love, but you are also loved. You are also loved. So have a fabulous week. And I look forward to connecting with you.